So for this project, which has been a really exciting one to map the heritage of Gleann, Cille, one of the really interesting developments over the past couple of years has been the availability of digital mapping and putting that into the hands of the public. And so we've used that in this particular project and created a map app which contains all of the information, all the really rich information that this project has. So I'm going to hand you over to Leah, who's going to talk about a little bit about what the data is and what the data sets have been. And Emma Doyle is going to talk about how they've actually created the map and gave a little demonstration of that. Emma and Leah have been both the two geography researchers who've been mapping this. So Leah, tell us a little bit about the data sets.
Yeah, so we used data sets that were gathered by Ronan Galvin and Seamus McGinley. They both went out and they done fieldwork gathering and the locations of these places. We also used pre-existing data sets such as data gathered by Seamus McGilla Aspug, Donegal place names, which was gathered by the Donegal County Council. We also used maps by Dan McGinley in Gleann, Cholm and Teelan, and we also used the Donegal Townlands information.
So you've got information about particular points and general areas like townlands and this, as well as having more static information like those maps.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. Emma, can you maybe show us a little bit about how these actually work in reality?
Yeah, so on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the legend here, and it includes all the data sets. So the more you zoom in, the more information that will come up. So for instance, here's the Dan McGinley map, and that presents all the points along the coastline as well. So if you click on any point here, it'll turn off the feature, or you click it back and it'll turn it back on. So you can kind of isolate the data that you want to see. So for instance, if we zoom in here and just pick a point, go with this point. So the townland information comes up and it gives you great information on that townland. So we have the Irish name, the English name, and just there could be more information on some of them rather than others. So then if you click on an actual point, so this was collected by Ronan Galvin. So this name was Merog Finn. And throughout this data here, it shows you the longitude, latitude, the name Oskelga in English. And there's also descriptions. There's the audio pronunciation. So if you just click in here and hit play. So you have the pronunciation of the area. You also have imagery of the area, and it varies from place to place. More places are enriched with information. So here's one picture of the area. And we'll click into the second one. So it just shows kind of what's going on specifically in that point. And as I said, the more you zoom in and out, the more information that you can get. And you can drag across the map, click on little points to get more information. And yeah.
And it's really interesting, but that example that you just showed obviously was about a particular pebble, and you can see that the pebble in inverted commas is not a pebble at all. It's quite a large stone.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden stories start coming out of this. What do you think is the value of this?
Well, I just think it's really important to continue this information down the line, because young people aren't as interested now about their area of where they've come from, but in the future, they definitely will be interested to know the stories, the smaller names of the areas. So the fact this is being mapped now from a generation that would know a lot more information than we would these days, I just think it's really important to continue on our culture and our Irish heritage.
This can be almost a template for other areas.
Yes, definitely.
It's really, really interesting. It's fascinating to see the rich heritage and the richness and almost the texture of the landscape coming out with all of this information that has been gathered from multiple sources. Because I saw there you've got hyperlinks to other external sources as well within that. So you can link out, you've got in some of those areas, you've got links to other maybe repositories and other archives where that particular name is also indexed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really interesting. Thanks so much for all the work on this.